Hello healers and health seekers, it's me Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 27 months now. And today I am here to do a Q&A video, and my question that was asked of me is please talk about sleep and how to get a good night's sleep. Now, for this video I did research in all the medical medium books because he does talk about sleep. Actually, in thyroid healing, he has an entire section, not chapter, section 4 on sleep and how and why and what and all the stuff. And so that is where most of my research comes from and most of my information. But I did go to a couple other places and get information to give you the best information that I can on sleep and how to get a good night's sleep. So in Medical Medium's first book, Medical Medium, Secrets Behind Chronic and Mystery Illness and How to Finally Heal, on page 50, he talks about sleep. He says insomnia can be caused by phrenic nerves becoming perpetually inflamed by Epstein-Barr virus. So that is one way. If you're exhausted at night, but you have trouble falling asleep, sleeping, especially falling into REM sleep at night, requires adrenal hormones. If you're short on adrenal hormones, that might cause insomnia or unsatisfying sleep, like unsatisfyingly light sleep, or dreamless sleep. That is page 106 in his first book. Also on page 106, if you are unrested after a full night's sleep, that's another sleep issue. If you lack enough adrenal hormones to fuel REM sleep and dreaming, you won't have a satisfying night. On top of that, adrenal hormones can rob you of so much energy that you will not have a satisfying night's sleep no matter how much sleep you get. You won't feel rested. So insomnia can also be a trigger for Lyme disease or other diagnoses, other chronic conditions, because over time, if you're not getting enough sleep and you're not getting restful sleep and all that stuff, all of that can trigger viral activity to happen. And that's what can actually cause what they would call Lyme disease or any number of viral infections to come flaring up. That's from page 218 of his first book. Another thing that can be triggered by not getting enough sleep, and this happens to me sometimes still, is migraines. If you do not get enough sleep or enough restful sleep, or if you have insomnia and it's repeated and over time, this can create imbalances in your brain chemistry. So you're unlikely to get migraines for this reason alone, but combined with other factors, this can create like sort of a storm in your body. If you have a sleep disorder such as insomnia, take comfort. This is also from his first book. As you lie awake in bed at night, half of your brain is actually asleep, believe it or not. And this makes, as an aside, this isn't in the book, but this makes sense to me because when I did a sleep study for my sleep apnea, one of the things that the guy would say in the sleep study is, oh, you fell asleep. And I was like, no, I didn't. I was wide awake. I was aware of everything that was going on. And he's like, no, it says here, whatever equipment they were using to determine whether someone's sleeping or not, they insisted I was asleep. And I was like, nope, that didn't happen. Because the sleep study, I would sleep in like half-hour increments. It was like really short bursts, or an hour or a half hour. And I'm like, no, I was awake and alert the whole time. I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep, but I was resting. And he's like, no, you were asleep. This says you were asleep. And I was like, So reading this and seeing that in fact half your brain does go to sleep even if you think you're awake, even if you are awake. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense. I wish they knew that in the medical community, but they do not. So the good news about the fact that your brain goes to sleep, like half your brain goes to sleep even if you're awake and alert, it means that your body is still healing and your central nervous system is still rejuvenating. That's the good news. Yay. So try not to get upset or fret if you are laying in bed awake at night, because as long as you are resting, you are still healing, even if you're not sleeping. So try to do things that are going to help your brain just relax about it. Be like, oh, I know I'm still healing, and I don't know, maybe talk to the angels while you're laying there resting at night, or do visualizations and meditations and things that help you. So Anthony Williams says, try not to get irritated or angry when you have a wakeful night, because understand that you are still healing. You're still healing if you're resting. And he says, understanding this secret alone will make you less susceptible to sleep-related migraines. Pretty cool, huh? Obviously, if it's a physical illness that is creating your insomnia and your sleep disorders, then follow the advice in his first book or in Thyroid Healing to heal your sleep disorders, because healing the viruses, the pathogens, the bacteria, the shingles, the Epstein-Barr virus, the HHV6, the cytomegalovirus, all of those things, the strep, all of those things will help over time, and your sleep disorders will go away. I can vouch for this because I used to have insomnia, and starting the medical medium protocols and doing all the stuff, boy, oh boy, I sleep so much better now. And sleeping better has helped me heal so much, because sleep is such a crucial part of healing. Such a crucial part of healing. Okay, if you are not getting enough sleep because there aren't enough hours in the day for all of your obligations, Anthony Williams says consider where you can cut down on those obligations. Like, where can you do less? Try to cut back. It may feel impossible, but consider this. The alternative is having migraines and losing hours in a day anyway because of the migraines. So just try to carve out more hours for better sleep. It's a better trade. You deserve to respect your body's limits. And that is on page 130 and 131 of the first book. Okay, now we get to the big stuff. Thyroid Healing book. Oh my gosh. Now, first let me say, what I'm going to cover in this video is not comprehensive. It is the basics, and for comprehensive information, get the Thyroid Healing book from your library, or buy it, or whatever you need to do. Get the Thyroid Healing book, because that has all of the information, and I'm just giving you kind of the basics of this part 4 in Thyroid Healing. He really covers sleep in Thyroid Healing, which is great. It's so great. It's such great information. So here we go. The Secrets of Sleep from the Medical Medium Thyroid Healing book, section 4. Again, just the basics. For more comprehensive information, read the book, okay? Because that's really the best information you'll get. First of all, he talks about we're diagnosed with thyroid disorders, and they're like, oh, the reason that you can't sleep, the reason you have insomnia, the reason you have these sleep disorders is because of your thyroid. I was told that because I had a diagnosis of hypothyroid, and they said, well, this is why you have all these other things. Or they would say, it's because of your fibromyalgia. Or they would say, it's because of your mast cell activation disorder. Or they would say, it's because of your chronic fatigue syndrome. At any rate, that's not the case. All of these things, all of these symptoms were because of the viruses I had going on in my body and the bacteria I had going on in my body. They were not because of a certain diagnosis. They were, as the diagnosis, a symptom of the viruses and pathogens and toxic heavy metals and other toxins that I had going on in my body. Both the thyroid issue, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, you name it, all of the other ones, caused by Epstein-Barr virus, as is the sleep disorder, also caused by Epstein-Barr virus. That is what is disrupting our sleep, not because you have hypothyroid. It's not, you know how they like to say, correlation doesn't equal causation. I've heard people throw that argument at me so much. Yeah, that's true. Correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because you have hypothyroid doesn't mean that's the cause of your insomnia, or the cause of your sleep migraines, or the cause of your sleep apnea. The same thing that is causing your hypothyroid, or your Graves' disease, or your Hashimoto's is what is causing your sleep disorders. Capiche? Capiche. So Epstein-Barr virus is not the only culprit. There can be several causes at once. For example, EBVs, neurotoxins. Epstein-Barr virus's neurotoxins may be diminishing the neurotransmitters that you need to send proper sleep signals. And at the same time, your liver may be clogged, which sends it into subtle spasm in the morning hours. And that wakes you up once you've finally fallen asleep. So that's one thing that can cause insomnia or restless sleep. On top of that, maybe a lot of MSG has snuck its way into your meals over the years. And the MSG buildup in your brain is burning out the neurons you need to keep your mind at peace at bedtime. MSG, insidious, horrible toxin. Or maybe Epstein-Barr virus's neurotoxins are giving you aches and pains that make it difficult to fall asleep or stay asleep. Plus your adrenals are too maxed out to produce enough of the specialized adrenaline blend you need to power sleep signals. Plus some toxic heavy metals have gotten into your system over the years, and those are blocking proper sleep-related neurological activity in your brain. That can happen too. So without proper sleep, you can't properly heal. But when you do get proper sleep, and when you know how to put your mind at ease when you're lying there awake, you possess one of the most powerful weapons for fighting Epstein-Barr virus. And here is a quote by Anthony William that I love, love, love. It's on page 241 of the Thyroid Healing book. We all want restful sleep. We all deserve restful sleep. From the moment you left the womb and took your first breath, sleep was owed to you. With every waking breath you've taken since, you've earned more sleep. Anthony William, medical medium. Here's another one. Sleep is not merely a physical function, it is a divine metaphysical right. Anthony William, medical medium. I love that one too. I loved learning that. I loved learning that we have a right to sleep. We are owed sleep, which means we get it back when we start healing. We get that sleep. And here we go again. As another quote. I'm going to quote this. This is from The Laws of Sleep. This is in that chapter also. Here's another quote. The foundation of a good night's sleep is to own the fact that it is your right. Somehow we lose sight of this. We think that sleep is only for the lucky, the privileged, the deserving. However, sleep knows no bounds. Simply by existing as a human being, you have earned sleep. The laws of sleep cannot be amended. The right of sleep cannot be infringed on or granted to only a certain class. By studying the laws below, you can start to take advantage of your birthright now. And over time, the knowledge can sink in on a core level. Sleep is for you. Anthony William, medical medium from the book Thyroid Healing. I love that. I love that. So that's why I say, read this section in the book, because that is where this information comes from. And there is more than what I am saying here. I'm, again, writing down the basics, okay? All right. Causes of sleep issues. Here we go. We're going to get into it. These are the causes of sleep issues from the Thyroid Healing book, Medical Medium. Viral activity, Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, shingles, HHV6, and even bacteria can poison our systems and keep us up at night. They excrete neurotoxins, which disrupt us in three main ways. 1. They trigger hypersensitivity in the central nervous system, which governs sleep. 2. They create body aches and pains, which can prevent you from relaxing and getting a decent night's sleep. 3. They can diminish neurotransmitter activity, disrupting proper sleep messages getting through. Toxic heavy metals. That's another thing that disrupts our sleep. And how? Toxic heavy metals are especially problematic in the brain, where they don't just stay in one place. They oxidize, creating waves of toxic runoff, which spreads the metals and damages the brain tissue in its path. Toxic heavy metals can also create problems with electrolytes and neurotransmitter chemicals, resulting in a shutdown of neurotransmitters, which would otherwise send proper sleep messages throughout your brain. They can cause a multitude of sleep issues: erratic sleep, not getting enough sleep, not getting deep sleep, and not being able to fall asleep in the first place. So that's heavy metals. MSG toxicity. Whew. MSG goes straight to the brain, where it derails electrical activity with toxins and co-toxins that burn out brain tissue. Once MSG is in the brain, it stays there, unless you break it down and pull it out with gentle cleansing, as is outlined in the medical medium books. And it can create long-term problems that will interfere with sleep. Okay, liver issues. This is another one. When you go to sleep, your liver sleeps too. It shuts down and goes on to autopilot. It wakes up around 3 or 4 a.m. It's different for everyone. begins to process the viruses, bacteria, and the debris, like dead cells, like even red blood cells. It gathers them up like it's taking the trash out to the curb. So that when you wake up in the morning and get hydrated, it flushes them out, flushes out all the debris. If the liver is sluggish because of a diet too high in fats or processed foods or both, then as it tries to do its job in the wee hours, it goes into subtle spasm, twisting and squeezing around. Most of the time you can't feel it, but sometimes it will disturb sleep and you'll drift in and out of sleep. Another thing that can disrupt your sleep is digestive issues. The nervous system is sensitive and it works with the digestive tract. The body has like a north-south or brain-gut connection. It's known as the vagus nerve and the phrenic nerve. That means the vagus nerve and the phrenic nerve. It means whatever is going into your digestive tract is signaled to your brain. So if you have digestive pain, bloating, cramping, or sensitive stomach, those can trigger your nervous system to keep you alert when you're trying to sleep. Another thing that can disrupt sleep is emotional wounds. PTSD and the loss of trust that it creates, and it can scar brain tissue, and that will disrupt your sleep. Sleep apnea, a particular interest of mine, seeing as I have it. I have obstructive sleep apnea, I think. I think I might have both. I don't know. So obstructive sleep apnea can be caused by excess mucus, inflammation of the bronchial tubes, tonsils or adenoids. It can be caused by septum issues, by chronic sinusitis, that's strep, lymphatic obstruction, general swelling, edema, and excess weight. These are all things that put pressure on the throat and the chest. Anti-mucus, antiviral foods will heal this over time. Now there's another kind of sleep apnea that's non-obstructive or neurological sleep apnea. That one's a little bit different. The CPAP, which is the machine that breathes for you, that helps you breathe at night, that doesn't offer relief in the cases of neurological sleep apnea because it's not about air, it's about the central nervous system and supporting the nerves. So with neurological sleep apnea, what is really going on is borderline seizure-like activity in the brain, and it's caused by pollutants. It's not actual seizures, it's electrical power surges on a truly minute level, just enough to pause breathing. It can be a result of MSG toxicity or high levels of a combination of heavy metals like mercury and aluminum, or exposure to pesticides like DDT and herbicides. Yep, DDT, still here. Or viral activity inflaming the vagus nerve. So all of those things can cause neurological sleep apnea. Adrenal fatigue, that's another one that can cause sleep disturbances. The adrenal glands can swing because they'll produce either too much or too little adrenaline, and that will cause sleep disturbances. Anxiety. You can have anxiety over being in the dark. You can have a fear of nightmares. You can have PTSD or OCD. All of those things can cause sleep disturbances. And you can have unspecific anxiety. And unspecific anxiety can be caused by the nerves being allergic to viral neurotoxins, which heightens nerve sensitivity and creates extreme anxiety. Probably a lot of us have that. Another thing that can cause anxiety, toxic heavy metals oxidizing in the brain can interrupt electrical activity. It can cause the electrical impulses to ricochet, so you experience panic, irrational thoughts, restlessness, or not being able to think straight. Another cause of anxiety can be DDT in the brain. It causes the nerve cells to self-destruct, which causes anxiety. Also, radiation elevates histamine reactions and inflammation in the body. You may feel hot or swollen, or like have a burning sensation. Your skin may slightly burn, and that causes anxiety. Or anxiety can be in the gut. It can be digestive issues causing the anxiety. All of these things can cause anxiety, which can disrupt your sleep. Or there could be additional neurological issues that disrupt your sleep. Like if you are getting no sleep at all, like you just are not sleeping well, you could have serious neurotransmitter or neuron dysfunction coupled with over or underactive adrenals. And that is usually because of a severe lack of magnesium. So getting magnesium glycinate or the neuromag, which is magnesium L-threonate, into your body in copious amounts will help. Okay, now those are all of the things that can cause sleep issues. So how do we heal them? Yay! Healing sleep issues. Obviously, if it's a viral issue, detox is your first priority. So You want to increase your fruits and vegetables, your wild herbs, your spices, and your wild foods, and that will automatically start the detox process. So that's one. There are specific foods in the Life-Changing Food Book that will help address a sluggish liver, adrenal fatigue, digestive issues. So you can look in the Life-Changing Foods book for those. Yes, I'm going to tell you some. For a sluggish liver, lemon water first thing in the morning. That's why I always do 32 ounces of lemon water every morning to flush out that liver. Let's take out the trash, get it out. Number 2 for sluggish liver, lower the fat. And number 3 for sluggish liver, healing foods. Those are the things you want to do for your sluggish liver. 2, your adrenal issues. Adrenal fatigue. You want to graze every 60 to 90 minutes for adrenal fatigue, and try to have a snack that has a good balance of potassium and the other ones. I will post a link below to the adrenal food suggestion list that Medical Medium has. And you definitely, every 60 to 90 minutes, you want to be doing something, eating something to support your adrenal. You want something that's leafy greens, and you want something that's fruit. Okay? So you want to have the balance in there, and you want to eat the adrenal foods every 60 to 90 minutes. And the reason you want to do this, you don't want to limit your foods to 3 meals a day, because here's what happens. If you do that, your adrenal glands have to dump adrenaline into your system to support when your blood sugar drops. And straining them makes them become over or underactive. So for digestive issues, elevated biotics need to be a priority. Elevated biotics are microscopic, life-giving organisms that cover the surfaces, leaves, and plants of fruits and vegetables that are raw, unwashed, or lightly rinsed and organic. It's like that white coating you see on like plums or grapes or tomatoes. We don't usually see the white coating on tomatoes, but there are elevated biotics on tomatoes, like if you grow them yourself. They survive the digestive process and make it to the ileum, which is the final section of your digestive tract, which creates B12, which is obviously critical to the body's functioning. Now for anxiety, you want to have those true comfort foods, like herbal tea with honey, a sweet potato, like a baked sweet potato with avocado. Those are things for anxiety because they will soothe and calm and help you sleep. And yeah, it's okay to eat those before bed. All right, for apnea and then just foods for sleep, here we go. I'm going to tell you some healing foods for sleep. So these foods not only address the conditions that I've been talking about, but they also actually enhance the effects of any supplements that you take for sleep. So in addition to this list that I'm about to give you, focus on berries, dates, lemons, limes, potatoes, radishes, turmeric, ginger, coconut water, sprouts, lemon balm, cat's claw, raw honey, artichokes, avocados, and grapes a part of your life. Make sure you include all of those foods and herbs regularly. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some individual foods because Anthony William talked about them individually in thyroid healing because they are that important for sleep. Mangoes. Mangoes are high in bioavailable magnesium, and if they are eaten with L-glutamine, the supplement, they heighten its absorption, and that reduces MSG toxicity by disarming it. So get your mangoes in if you've ever had a meal with MSG, and haven't we all? Because if you've ever eaten Chinese food, or any food really, you're going to have MSG in your brain. All right, bananas. Pugs love bananas. They are high in tryptophan and fructose, which soothe neurotransmitters. Bananas activate the supplement 5-HTP when they are had together, which is obviously a supplement for sleep. All the supplements I name are also helpful for sleep, just in case that wasn't totally obvious. Cherries are the next food I'm going to talk about. Cherries are a great source of melatonin, and guess what that means? If you take them with melatonin, it heightens their properties and bioavailability. Asparagus, it lessens mucus production and soothes inflammation. It has a calming sedative effect. Who knew? And if you combine asparagus with GABA and magnesium L-threonate, that's the Neuromag brand that Anthony recommends, it enhances it and makes it more effective. Asparagus before bed. Spinach. Spinach is high in calcium and it reduces acidosis. The mineral salts in spinach feed neurotransmitters, and they enhance the supplement glycine's absorbability and strengthens neurotransmitter performance. Celery. You knew I wasn't going to get through this list without naming celery. Celery juice. You know we're talking about celery juice. Or just celery. I think you can eat it too in this case. So celery is high in mineral salts. And what do those do? 1, they carry electrical impulses through the brain. And 2, they are the building blocks of neurotransmitter creation. And celery enhances the ability of supplemental glycine, neuromag, and GABA. Lettuce. Here's a fun fact, because I didn't know this. The milk in the core of a leaf of lettuce calms the nerves and has an overall tranquilizing and sedative effect. If you couple it with passion flower, it enhances the calming neurological effect of this supplement of passion flower. Pomegranates. Pomegranates bind to unwanted acids in the body, including lactic acid buildup that can result in cramping during sleep. Ouch. It's anti-mucus and anti-inflammatory. And when used with magnesium glycinate, it can take those muscle relaxing powers to the next level. So pomegranate, if you have like a restless leg or like pain in your leg, like you get those cramps at night. Magnesium glycinate, pomegranate. Licorice root. Licorice root helps support and rejuvenate the adrenals at a rapid pace. And licorice root will ignite magnesium glycinate, which calms the adrenals. So licorice root is awesome. And if you take licorice root, note, you want to pulse it. So you can do, I've heard so many different ways to pulse it, but like 2 months on, 1 month off, something like that. And pulse means you take it for 2 months and then you take a break for a month, because it loses its efficacy if you don't take breaks from it. It's one of those supplements. Licorice, golden seal, olive leaf, oregano oil, those are all ones that you want to take breaks from occasionally. But they have different time periods that you do it for. We're just talking about licorice right now, and licorice is generally, I think it's 2 months on, 1 month off, I think. Wild blueberries. You know I'm not going to go through a list of medical medium healing foods that help anything without saying wild blueberries. Just like celery juice, it is a staple in any medical medium household. If you're healing, wild blueberries, oh, always, always bring your wild blueberries in. Wild blueberries pull out MSG and heavy metals. Yes, wild blueberries are awesome. They are a top adaptogenic, anti-mucus, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant-rich food that you can eat. They enhance every nutrient, every supplement, every amino acid, you name it, they enhance it. Take your wild blueberries with your banana or your pomegranate or your mango or whatever, your lettuce or your spinach. Bring in wild blueberries before you go to bed, and it will supercharge everything. It will enhance it, and the body will be able to make the best use of it. Wild blueberries. Always wild blueberries. Just eat wild blueberries. No, not just wild blueberries. And celery juice. Just eat wild blueberries and celery juice. I'm kidding, but definitely have them every day. And bring them in before bed. Take your healing to the next level. Bet you anything. Garlic. Woo! Love me some garlic. I love garlic. Garlic is anti-inflammatory for mucous membranes and bronchial tubes. Long term, it can ease breathing. So if you have any trouble breathing, get your garlic in. And it enhances the effects of magnesium glycinate. So you can take garlic with magnesium glycinate. Cilantro! Cilantro binds onto heavy metals and flushes them out of the body safely. Safely. That's important. If you take it with L-glutamine, it boosts MSG removal and heavy metal detox. Yay, cilantro! That's why we love cilantro. Sweet potatoes. I talked about sweet potatoes a little while ago. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes provide a critical form of glucose that stimulates the development of neurotransmitters such as glycine, dopamine, GABA, and serotonin, which aids in sleep. If you take melatonin while you're eating your sweet potato, it binds onto the melatonin and it helps it travel to the brain more easily. How cool is that? Oh man, I need to start eating sweet potatoes before bed because I take melatonin. So those are the healing foods. Now let's talk about the sacred sleep window. This is something Anthony talks about. This is something that's very crucial and very important for our healing, so we need to discuss it. It takes time to heal. You know this. I tell you every video. Healing takes time. It takes time. It takes time. Now remember, earlier I talked about you heal even if you don't sleep. You are resting. Half of your brain is asleep if you are resting. So you want to make sure to rest between the hours of 10 p.m., whatever your time zone is, and 2 a.m. Always make sure that you're laying in bed. You don't have to be asleep, but that you are resting. Let your brain sleep. Meditate. You can meditate. I mean, sleeping is great. If you can be asleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., be asleep. But if you can't, just be resting and let your brain rest. You can meditate. You can talk to the angels, you can pray, whatever. Just try to do something that's relaxing for your brain. You can do visualizations, mantras, whatever. Just have your eyes closed. Have your eyes closed between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's the important sleep window. That is called the sleep window because it is the time of night when the body does the most healing. And if you're going to take a nap, naps are good too. If you're going to take a nap during the day, make it between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. because that's the daytime equivalent of the nighttime sleep window. So 10 to 2 is the time to rest if you're going to be resting in the day. If you're going to nap, that's prime time for napping. All right, spiritual sleep support. The angel of dreams and the angel of sleep. Well, the angel of dreams is for your dreams, but for sleep, Anthony says, call on the angel of sleep. You can speak her name aloud to ask for support and say, whatever you want to say to her. I need help with my sleep. I want to learn to have a restful sleep. Please help me. Please help me have restful sleep. Call on the angel of sleep to help you sleep. Okay, he also has a whole entire section that I am not going to get fully into. I am going to so bottom line it. About bad dreams, because we worry about nightmares. We don't like to have nightmares. Sometimes we don't want to go to sleep because we're afraid of nightmares. But here is the gist of what he talks about nightmares. Bad dreams are actually good. They are actually healing. Nightmares actually bring healing to our soul. It's our body's way of processing and healing what it needs to process and heal. It doesn't make it fun. Nobody likes having nightmares, but it's kind of reassuring to know that if you are having them, there's probably some big, deep healing going on. So don't be afraid to go to sleep. Don't be afraid to have nightmares. I feel like with the knowledge that nightmares can be healing, it actually does help a lot. It helps me a lot when I do have nightmares to know, like, okay, I guess I'm doing some big healing. I did not enjoy that. Whew. But, and then I just kind of process it. He talks much more in depth. Really, again, you got to read the book. You got to read about thyroid healing, but this is sort of the gist and an important thing to know about nightmares. This next stuff is not necessarily medical medium information, but it is information that I have found very helpful in my sleep process. It is called sleep hygiene, and it is the way that a lot of people are able to help create a routine around sleep and a safe space and like a warm, snuggly sleeping space so that your body goes, oh, we're in bed, time for sleep, and then bam. And that has worked so well for me. And so I'm going to tell you a few principles of this sleep hygiene to sort of help if you need this as well. Obviously, avoid stimulants like caffeine and alcohol and chocolate. These are all stimulants. I know alcohol is not a stimulant, it's a depressant, but what happens is like the second half of your sleep, the body starts to sort of process it. That's your liver kicking in, and it can wake you up and disrupt your sleep, and then you don't have very restful sleep. Look, if you're doing medical medium, you're not having any of this stuff anyway, but even the traditional world or whatever knows you want to avoid stimulants if you want to get a good night's sleep. And this even includes during the day, because even having a cup of coffee in the morning can actually disrupt your nighttime sleep because it messes with the adrenals. It's no good. Just don't do it. Get off of that stuff. Gentle exercise during the day. When you're healing, it's great to do exercise to move the lymph. It helps flush out the liver into the lymph, and it helps flush out the lymph. So it's great to do gentle exercise. You don't want to do anything too rigorous while you're healing. That's per medical medium. You don't want to do anything too rigorous. But it is good to do some sort of movement during the day, whether it's walking. Even if you can't walk or move and you can only sit, like if you can do some kind of like up and down exercise with your arms, anything like that. Even that, like if you're doing something like that, if you have a rebounder, it's great to rebound. If you don't have a rebounder and you have a bouncy bed, you can just bounce on your bed. If you don't have either of those things, if you have a yoga ball, you can actually bounce on a yoga ball. And if you can't do that, then you can't do that, and that's okay. If you can walk, great. Or just something that's gentle, not too heavy. You can do gentle stretching and breathing exercises, things like that. Something to sort of move your body that's not too strenuous, it helps move your lymph. So that's a good thing to do. It's always good to have some sort of movement during the day. That'll definitely help you sleep better. And the hygiene list says avoid disruptive foods like fatty foods, fried foods, processed foods, carbonated beverages, spicy dishes. And I added to the list on my own melon and coconut water because they are so hydrating. And I think I would also add cucumber juice because they are so hydrating that drinking them right before bed is going to disrupt your sleep because you're going to have to get up to pee in the night. So I added those things. I just don't, like if I'm having melon, it's in the earlier part of the day. Same with coconut water. Although sometimes I do get up and drink coconut water in the middle of the night when I'm thirsty, but I always have to pee afterwards. I'm just saying. I mean, it's great because I'm flushing out my liver, but I'm disrupting my sleep when I do it. So you decide. Adequate natural light helps maintain a healthy sleep cycle. So if you can get outside and get some light on your face, or even open up your blinds and get some light on your face, it's good to have natural light. It's also good to, with your electronics like your computer or your cell phone, it's good to have an app like Flux, and it's good to have something like that because it dims your, like when the sun goes down, it dims your computer screen to sort of more, it's like a warmer light. It takes a lot of the blue light out and makes it a warmer, sort of dimmer, like more sunset-like light, and that helps. I do that, and then it's also good to even turn off your screens an hour before bedtime and have a set bedtime every night if you can. I'm not the greatest about this, but I do like to always make sure I'm in bed by 10 if I can. So sometimes I get tired earlier and I'll go to bed at 9, but so that's why I'm not always great about it, because sometimes I go to bed early. In general, it's good to have at least a similar or same bedtime each night so that you have that routine established. It helps your body to have those signals. And I was helped when Frenzy was alive by her sitting on the bed and meowing around 9 or 9:30 or whatever time she decided I was going to go to bed until I would come in and go to bed. She was my alarm clock for sleeping rather than waking up, which I appreciated. I would much rather her meow at me to go to bed than to wake up. So I don't know, that she decided, she's like, it's time for you to go to bed now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. And that was amazing. So also if you establish a regular bedtime routine. For bed, for me, it's, well, first I take my bedtime supplements, and then I come in and I fill up the water in my sleep apnea machine, I brush my teeth, I go to the bathroom, I do all those things that I need to do, and then I come sit in bed, and then I talk to the angels before I go to sleep. That's my bedtime routine. Some people like to do gentle stretching before bed, or take a warm bath or a warm shower before bed. When my bathtub was working, I would always take my detox baths at night before I was going to go to bed, because I would get so sleepy in the detox bath, and then I would be ready. Or sometimes if I'm doing castor oil packs, I'll do those before bed too. When I'm in a period of doing them, I'm taking a break right now for about a month, and then I'll start again. So whatever your bedtime routine is, you know best what that is, but just do those things. Try to do them consistently every night, because again, it's signaling your brain, it's signaling your body, like it's time to go to sleep, it's time to go to sleep. We always do this before we go to sleep. And then also with your bed, if you can, try to only use it for sleeping and maybe sex. Like, don't hang out in your bed, don't do other things in your bed, just like try to use it just for those things, because again, then if you sit in your bed, it signals your body like, oh, we're in bed, it's time for sleep. It works really well for me. I just sleep in my bed, and my body always knows, like, oh, we're laying in bed, good night. It really works, it's amazing. And other things like to have like blackout curtains over your windows to keep the light out, and a sleep mask also can be very helpful, either or both. And make your sleep environment pleasant. Have a comfortable mattress, have comfortable bedding, pillows, snuggly. Make it nice and snuggly and comfy and cozy. There was also a suggestion about having the room be cool at night, but I do not do that, because if the room is too cold for me, because they suggested like between 60 and 67 degrees, no. For me, I need the room to be warm. I actually would have a cold, freezing nose at a 60 to 67 degrees, and I would be shivering. There's no way I could handle that kind of cold, because my body would just be like, no. I need it to be warm. So I don't actually follow that suggestion. I'm not sure what that's about. I guess they say that most people sleep best that way, but I need it to be cozy and warm, to the point where actually for me, at night when I go to sleep, I'm always cold, and I put an extra cozy blanket on, and then I just either take it off like midway through the night, or sometimes I'll sleep with it on all night, depending on the temperature. I like it warmer in the room, not colder. I cannot sleep in cold, because my nose will get cold and that will wake me up. I cannot sleep with a cold nose. I have I'm very Princess in the Pea when it comes to sleep, so I kind of figured out a lot of this stuff a long time ago, but it really has helped to have this sleep routine in place and have all of these things in place. The things be comfy and like just so, and oh, I need white noise to sleep with, because if I don't, I'm a light sleeper. And because I'm a mom. Moms are light sleepers, because you got to wake up for your baby. You got to hear your kid. I don't care that my kid is 13 at this point. I'm still a mom. I'm still a light sleeper. I like a white noise machine on. And fortunately for me, my IQ air filter, which cleans the air as I sleep, makes great white noise. You can turn it low or high, and I always have it on high, so it's the loudest, so it drowns out everything. I cannot hear any noise. I don't hear storms. I don't hear whatever, anybody being awake. I don't hear anything. It's lovely. I love it. And it cleans the air when I sleep. So that's my white noise machine. But you can use a fan. You can use like whatever, if white noise is helpful. Like my husband can sleep through anything, and he doesn't need sound. He doesn't need noise. He doesn't need anything. And he can sleep in a totally silent room, but I can't. I will hear every single sound. I will hear a mouse walking across the floor if that were to happen. Because I have a bloodhound nose and mama bear hearing. So I can hear everything. So those are all of my suggestions, and that's all the information that I have about sleep. So hopefully something in this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have suggestions for other videos for me to do in the future, please leave them in the comments below. If I forgot something, or you have other suggestions about like other things that have helped you to sleep, please leave those in the comments below. I would love to hear your suggestions if I forgot anything. And if you have any questions, also please leave those in the comments below. I would love to answer them if I can. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up below. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button, and you can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos. I definitely try to post every week, and most of the time I succeed, unless I'm having some sort of family crisis. Stay curious, my healers and health seekers. Blessings for your continued healing. You can heal. With medical medium information, you can heal. It takes time, but you can do it. I love you. I will see you next time. Blessings, blessings. I love you. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.